Looking to improve your squad on Ultimate Team? Visit iggm.com for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Use my promo code NA to get 5% off. Yo, what's up guys? For this video we're going to be talking about the 4222. There are people raising concerns to me, telling me that the 4222, that it was nerfed after the recent patch about 2 weeks ago or something like that. And guys, I can honestly say this thing is not patched. If you guys think it's patched, I feel like you're just playing it wrong, to be quite honest. It's still one of the best custom tactics in the game, or the best formation, or one of the best formations in the game. There's different types of custom tactics for this, as you've seen in the past, and this is still really good and arguably one of my favorites this year. I've always been a fan of this formation from the beginning of this year, even as far as last year as well. If you've been around on my channel for last year, you'll probably noticed that I used a lot of 4222s back in the day. I just really like how the wingers are in such narrow positions, crowds the middle, gets a lot of players inside the box. I like that a lot, to be honest. However, there was always that concern of trying to get good cams. You know, when you're at the start of FIFA, you can't really play players out of position, and there's only like a couple cams in the game with all those rare golds and the cheap promos back then. But now it's Team this season, there's good cams everywhere. Players have like 4 positions, tons of evos, so it's pretty easy to get good cams now, especially with role mastery on them, with double plus on, you know, their Shadow Striker or the Playmaker roles. With that all said and done, it's worth mentioning that these custom tactics are not created by me, although I did help test these out. These were brought to me from a member of our Discord, which you can find with a link in the description. But yeah, I saw them, I gave them a shot, and they were really good. A lot of my videos in the past and a lot of my videos going forward are not always going to be created by me, but they're going to be tactics created on my server or posted on my server that are shared with me, and then I give them a shot, I try them out. So obviously, like I said, if you want to beat the curve, get custom tactics before I make videos on them, because to be honest, I don't post videos that much because I can only do so many custom tactics. There can't be a meta custom tactic every single day, but there's always going to be different custom tactics that you might like. So if that's something that you're looking for, you can join with the link in the description. But other than that, since it is a 4222, it's really important that we have an idea of what type of players we're going to be using. So it's pretty important that you have a proper squad for this. And first things first, your defense, pretty self-explanatory. Just get fast players, good play styles. I'm sure everybody knows what a good defender looks like at this stage of the game. And your 2 CDMs, they're going to be working in tandem in defense and as well as in offense. So what I mean by that is they're basically going to be doing the exact same thing. And with that being said, you're probably going to want them to have similar roles and similar play styles. Personally, I just go with the best cards that I have. If it's possible, if you guys can make it happen, try to get 2 CDMs that have Intercept Plus, and then other playstyle pluses I would recommend would be Intercepts, which Andre Santos has here, or having full white, or just having maxed out passing playstyles. That way you can really maximize the speed and the efficiency of your passing in midfield. As you can see, I have it on both my CDMs. But if you can get Intercept Plus, Incisive Plus, that's going to be really useful. They're going to step up in defense. They're going to press high for the ball. They're going to attack the other side of the pitch. So it's pretty important that you have really good cards here. Make sure that ideally that they have all 90 face stats. Obviously I have 80 defense or 80 physical here. I have 87 shooting, but you get the concept. Just get as close as possible. And then your 2 cams, it's really important here. We use a half wing on this side. And this card right here that I have, guys, this Evo, I think this spot right now, I don't remember what Evo it was. But overall, the concept, since this is a half winger, we want someone that's fast. So obviously I have Rapid Plus and Quick Step. But if you have someone that just has Rapid and Quick Step in white, that works too. Just make sure they have good pace to some extent, because they're going to be dominating your touchline areas. They're going to be stretching play. And when the play is stretched, it's going to enable a lot of space in the middle. So it's also really important that you have half winger plus here. I only have plus. Plus is good too, but you'll notice plus is really good as well. Try to at least get plus. I mean. And then your other cam, just get a good cam here to begin with. And then 2 strikers, just have good strikers basically. That brings us to the custom tactic right here, which I'll have the custom code or whatever. I'll have the code in the top right in bigger text. Build up style balanced, self-explanatory. I say this on all my videos. Honestly, I hope in the future they make this more versatile in a way. It's kind of boring that there's only 3 options and balance is the best one every single time. There's no reason to switch from it. You can switch to counter if you want more runs, but at the same time it just makes it harder to pass if you're trying to play it short, keep the ball. And then the complete opposite when you use short passing, because they don't make runs as much as balanced. So obviously, what's the point in those when you can have balance and have the best of both worlds? So it is what it is. Defense approach high on 70. We don't really use 95 anymore. If that's something that you're comfortable still with the post-patch gameplay, be my guest. You can change this yourself. Me personally, I can't be bothered. I feel like 70 line height is still really good regardless. There's not much incentive to switch to a higher depth. I hope that this is also something that's updated in FC26, because this is pretty boring. There's no point to go to 50 anymore. Like 50 is just dead. Just all you have to use is 70. So hopefully they allow some purpose for switching it up. Brings us down to our player roles. You have 2 strikers up front, very self-explanatory. That's all you have. You just have 2 strikers. But what's really important to note is the with ball structure, as you can see right here. And because advanced forward does not stick down the middle, since you have 2 strikers, that way they're kind of to the left and to the right. What this means is that this player right here, you'll notice, try to get plus here. I don't, but if you get plus, you'll notice this even more. But they're going to be super good at taking advantage of the pockets in the attack. As you can see with the Shadow Striker description, it says an attack-minded midfielder who plays in the hole behind the strikers. The reason why this 4-2-2 is so good is because the fact that they start from the left and then they transition into the middle and they have this entire space means that they're going to be taking advantage of the gaps down the middle. Now, when you only have 1 striker, what this means is they're going to be going to the left or to the right of that striker. They're not going to be going down the middle. However, with this, it allows a more basically like a more randomized attack every single time you attack. Sometimes he's still going to be going down the left. Other times a striker is going to be slightly towards the left and then he's going to make a run down the middle. That's what makes this custom tactic so good at the end of the day. Like I said, when your attack looks random and your players are making different runs every single time, you'll be approaching your goals from different angles. And it's just going to be a pain in the ass to defend against, because imagine trying to defend against someone who's attacking a different way every single time. Because that brings us down to our half winger right here. And this half winger, if you put a really good player right here, it's going to kind of suck, because this player is not going to be too involved in scoring goals and getting assists. I mean, they're going to get a good amount of assists, but their objective here is to basically act as a wide midfielder. We need them to stretch play. They honestly don't even need to be in this custom tactic. Like, let's say, for example, if you get a red card, you can take this player off pretty easily. Like, if, let's say, for example, you lose a center back, just take out your right cam. But the purpose of this player is, well, there's 2 purposes, but the first purpose that is really important to begin with, that is the reason why we have this, is to stretch play. They're going to be pretty open when these players are getting contested down the middle, because your other team is going to be worrying about your 3 attacking targets right here. That this players, oftentimes you can get them on through balls down the middle, which is why we said we want to have incisive pass plus on your CDMs. This player will be really accessible from them. They'll make a lot of through balls. You can get a lot of cutbacks from this angle. But also the fact that half winger is really good on a cam to make them as a wide passing option. So you'll notice, especially you'll notice this from defense or from your goal kick, but you'll notice that as soon as you do your goal kick or whatever, that player will have nobody on them. The left back is not going to be touching them. The midfielder is not going to be touching them. They're going to be wide open every single time. So even if you can get like a long ball pass plus play style on somebody in defense, or your goalkeeper even, you can get that ball to your half winger and they're going to be wide open. They're going to have a whole island of space. And obviously, like in any condition, having an attacker that always has space is going to be really useful. So that's why we have them there. And then that brings us down to our 2 CDMs. And like I said, incisive pass plus is really important. Long ball pass plus with that half winger in mind is also going to be pretty useful. But like I'm sure you guys are aware of the benefits of a deep line playmaker build-up. And I was really thinking to my head earlier, or thinking to myself, I feel like they might have to remove deep line playmaker build-up next year, because there's literally no point in using formations like the 4-4-2, the 4-4-1-1, things like that, anything that has center mids, because they don't have CDM AI on them. However, your CDM has center mid AI. What I mean by this, a center mid, they don't defend as well as a CDM. They don't get as close as possible to your center backs like a CDM does. They don't track back like a CDM does, no matter what you do, even if you put holding on them. However, deep line playmaker build up CDMs, they defend like a regular CDM will, so when you don't have the ball, they'll drop back just like a holding midfielder would. However, in attack, they're going to step up all the way to the edge of other team's box. So you're defending like a CDM, you're attacking like a center mid. It's broken. I don't know why it's like that. It makes center mids like pointless. They probably have to remove this next year, or at least nerf it in some condition. They might just nerf it in a future patch for all I know, because that's like I said, that's just ridiculous. Who's going to want to play 4-4-2 or something like that if you can just have a CDM instead. That's why, you know, the 4-4-2-2, the 4-4-2-1-3, anything with CDMs is the meta. This is the primary reason. You get defensive output that a 4-4-2 or something like that won't have, while still getting the same offensive output. But that's fine at the end of the day. Like I said, this is still one of the best formations in the game, so we're playing it as it is. And with deep line playmaker build up, like I said, they're gonna step up to the other team's edge of the box, and sometimes, in very rare conditions, but it's still gonna happen sometimes, they're going to make runs into the box. And the reason why I say it's rare is because it's under the conditions that your attackers are just not there. Now, that's not going to happen really. You have 3 attackers in the box, especially when you have a dynamic attacker with your Shadow Striker. There's not going to be many opportunities for your CDMs to make runs into the box, but that's a good thing because we don't need them to. In fact, we need them to just be at the edge of the box, be a passing option. Let's say, for example, you have your half winger, you're making a run, you get to the edge of the box, or sorry, you get to like a crossing position. You can just cut back to the CDM, and then the CDM can pass to the other CDM. Or you can just try to find one of your 3 passing options up front, and your opponent is going to have to worry about 3 attackers that are side by side in the box when they only have 2 center backs. So you can already imagine this formation is basically just going to score goals for you. But that's that. You're going to have your 4 defenders right here, very self-explanatory. Fullback defend, defender defend, and fullback defend once more. And you can have goalkeeper defend right here. Try to change this to whatever your player has ++ on. Sweeper keeper or goalkeeper. I'm sure everybody has ++ on both roles, but other than that, that's personal preference. But yeah, other than that, guys, these custom tactics are really good. I would go as far as saying they're better than the 4-2-1-3. The only main issue is you just need to have good cams, because if you don't have good cams, if you don't have the players for this custom tactic, it's just going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. I think it's more possible now than ever, obviously, because you have team this season. Everyone's getting good cards everywhere. You don't need anything crazy, but you are kind of basically helped by the fact that it is team this season and there's going to be a lot of cards. Try to get cams that have playstyles like incisive, finesse, and then if possible rapid and quick steps. That way you have speed on your half winger, and then make sure you have the double pluses across the board. This applies to every custom tactic, but try to get ++ on literally everybody, or at least plus. Plus is going to be fine, but ++ is going to be what makes it like everything just snap perfectly. This even includes your fullbacks. Make sure you have double plus on your fullbacks as well. Honestly, I feel like that's a thing people forget to have. I think a lot of people use fullbacks that don't even have like a plus at least. If you're in situations where you have a fullback, you don't have a plus on them, you're going to have times where they're going to leave gaps. Even if they're on defend, they're going to leave gaps in behind. It's just a pain in the ass to have that, because your wingers, or the other team's wingers, are going to be taking advantage, making a lot of space in behind. Try to get ++ across the board. That difference of having ++ across the board is going to be way better than trying to use the best custom tactics you can find on YouTube or Google or whatever the case may be. Once you have that role mastery across the board, it'll make every custom tactic feel like gold. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to leave comments if you have any concerns or any questions, anything like that, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.